My name is Noel and I'm 48. I've been a farmer since in the early 90s, but on a commercial standpoint from 2012.
Why did you choose to get into it?
I love farming. I get a lot of inspiration when I'm in the land, and I'm very comfortable. I enjoy seeing the end result, and I like to grow what I eat. So basically I like to eat what I grow.
Okay, so tell us about what you do. Tell us about the plants that the crops that you plant and how you go about it. So
I plant a variety of vegetables. I do some long-term ones like plantain and cassava and dashing, but the short term I do lettuce, pak choy, peppers, cabbage, celery, parsley, and a lot of tomatoes. Okay. I grow passion fruit as fruit, just for use and for sale. I do organic farming, so I take pride in everything I do, from the soil preparation to the ground preparation, and even the trays. Before I sow my seedlings, I sanitize the trays with bleach. So I have them soaked in bleach for, let's say, half an hour, and then drain and then do the seedlings. Now the soil, I prepare the soil. I use the potting soil, ready mix, right? I use that and I mix it with a bit of fowl manure and a bit of cow manure. So when I do the mix, I let it sit for a couple of days, and then let it just take some sun, some bleaching, and then after it becomes nice and fine like this, back again, and that's when I do the trays to do the seeds. From there on, when I sow, I wet them with ordinary water, but once they bust, I start treating them with pen manure tea, which I have in that drum here. So the drum is infused with cow manure, rabbit manure, and fowl manure, and the manures are in the bags and the bags are kept in the drum. So the rainwater fall into the drum and I use the water to wet the plants once they're up past 1 week. So basically it gives the plants a nice green healthy look, and once you see the texture, definitely there is no chemical in it. And then the lifespan of the vegetables, once it's full grown, you can keep a lettuce on the fridge for up to a month, which I tried, and likewise the pak choy, because they don't have any chemicals, so they last very long. For the celery, I grow the celery in rabbit manure and seaweed. So when you get the celery, the chunks are really nice and fat, and they're very sweet when they're really mature. So the peppers, again, everything is treated with the pen manure tea, and it's done on a twice-a-week basis. The other days it's wet with ordinary water.
But of all of the crops that you mentioned, what would you say is your best crop?
Well, it depends on the season. Like when rain falling, I do not plant a lot of lettuce because everybody plants lettuce. So I just slow down on the lettuce and I do things like purple cabbage. I do like I tried cauliflower and so on. But celery and parsley, I do a lot of that. 2020 was a big drop because of the whole COVID thing, and there wasn't any need for hubs really, because the hotels were down, so nobody was buying hubs. So hence the reason why we had stopped grow celery for that period. And even the kale, I stopped growing kale as well, because you don't get the market for quite a few of these things. Lettuce, over the Christmas, October, November, I planted like 20 trays, 30 trays of lettuce. So I had lettuce to sell for the entire season, which did very well. And now I'm back down, like sowing 4-6 trays right about now, because you don't get that big demand for lettuce. Even the pak choy, I do like 6 trays or so. Tomatoes, I do under 10 trays. Yeah.
Do you sow the seeds just for your use, or you sell to persons, interested persons?
I sow for my use, and when I get extra, I give it out to guys who I know do farming. Recently, a couple persons had approached me to buy. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start doing extra quotas, so I have a couple trays to sell to those who request it.
Over the years you have been doing farming, what would you say was the best practice that works for you?
Basically, the best practice is early weeding. I like to do early weeding, because when you plant 2 weeks, 3 weeks after you do your weeding, then the crop does not take much bush, and it allows the crop to grow nicely and spread the way it should. And then harvesting time, when I harvest, I clean right away. So like, some people would harvest and they would leave the extra leaves and so on the ground from the lettuce or the cabbage. While I'm harvesting, I take everything right away. So no bad, like old leaves or so don't remain through the other vegetables that remain. So in that sense, now I don't get like the bugs or the congories and stuff like that into the bed where I have the crops. And I'm pretty happy with that, because once the crops is clean, I'm happy. They grow nice and you get good product.
I know that due to COVID, some of your buyers, they have lessened. You probably have less. Right now, what are your major markets?
For that, the vegetables, marketing board, Foodland. Now for the chickens, which is the broilers, I used to supply Foodland on a 2 weeks basis. But because they're so happy with the product that we give to them, right now we are able to offer them weekly. So me and my brother, we do the chick as partners, and we have expanded over the Christmas holiday in order to meet that weekly supply. So we're a very proud supplier of Foodland with the broilers, and they're very happy. So far, so good. We up to now 100 per week. Yeah, so we used to have like sometimes 60, 80, but now we standardize it. We go at 100 per week. So we go through a cycle, like every week we would buy 100, because you would get 100 going out. Yeah.
We know that you do the plant as well as the poultry. What's your goal in the next 5 to 10 years for both?
My thing is agro-processing at the end of the day. For the poultry, I would love to see us expanding to the capacity where we can sell chicken by the parts. You have that amount and you can sell chicken breast, chicken wings, and so on. So we want to reach at that capacity. We also want to achieve air-conditioned slaughterhouse, so when you slaughter, you don't have to run to put on ice, because of the temperature is different for the chicken. We want to achieve that kind of thing, so as to make the quality that we provide #1 on the island. When it comes to the greens, I'm thinking in the future, crispy salad in a bag. You take your pak choy, you put it through dehydrator, it becomes crispy, and then you add your flavor into it. You pack it in a bag with your other vegetables, and somebody can go to the supermarket and pick up a crispy salad in a bag. So that's my thing. Things like getting into powders, carrot powder, beet powder, potato flour, and this kind of thing. You know, that's my thing. Farming is like in my blood. Just like I've been in the hospitality industry for 21 years, so I've been in the hospitality and did farming at the same time. So those two things, when you mention food, whatever it takes to do with food, I'm there. So that's my goal, to really take that farming to the next level in having a commercial farm, not just producing the vegetables but producing the byproducts, and at a level probably where we can export.
What would you say COVID has taught you?
COVID has taught me a lot, actually. Self-dependency. And because this greenhouse, I actually built it in April, when the COVID had the lockdown was in full swing, and we were there. There was nobody had seedlings, and everybody you ask, oh, we don't have, and I said, you know what, the best thing for me to do is build a greenhouse, do my own seedlings. So the little money I had, I went and I buy the wood and stuff, and me and my son, we built the greenhouse ourselves. And after that, in September, my brain clicked again. I said, well, it seems as though I have to be on the route of self-employment. So my son does Seamoss, they grow Seamoss. So I started to create recipes for Seamoss product, and I started to build some recipes with some Seamoss drinks, infusion with fruit, no milk, and I developed the product called Fruity Moss. So Fruity Moss is a Seamoss infusion. I have 6 flavors. It's already established on the market. I am just waiting to get it into supermarkets and take it from there. Now, apart from the Fruity Moss, I have the Seamoss gel, which I do, and then I have 3 alcoholic based recipes, which I'm going to introduce later, maybe a month or so, with the same Seamoss product. So that I during the COVID, I sort of create that as a side employment, the chickens, the vegetables, and the crochet. So like you can say, I'm a very busy person.
What would you have any advice for persons who are contemplating getting into farming, in whatever aspect of it?
Okay, farming is and should be the backbone of the island. I'll give you one reference. Look at the COVID situation now with America, England, and those places. And right now they are a big buyer of vegetables from the Caribbean. Now, I would encourage persons who like farming, because if you don't like it, you wouldn't do it very well. So if you like farming, you can get into farming, because at the end of the day, farming pays. Once you do it right, you do it at a capacity that you don't do too small, it pays. And you work flexible. You work on your own time. You able to stretch yourself some days, and you're able to break on other days, and you don't have anybody on your back or anybody nagging you for any reason. So my advice to some people who are thinking about getting into farming and staying into farming, I would say, if you're doing vegetables, do animal as well, whether it's pigs or goats or fowls, or even rabbits, because you would want to use pen manure, not the bunch of fertilizers and chemicals that we import on the island, because at the end of the day, you want to have healthy practice, and you want to produce things that people would enjoy, and long term keep the nation healthy. Like I said, I'm Nester, also known on Facebook as Nessie Preppy, which is my crochet, Vigor Moss Grenada, the Fruity Moss, which is my Seamoss product. As well, I'm on Instagram with Nessie's Organic Farm and Facebook as well. So I normally post up,